a monster.
I'm your number one fan.
Now clear your minds. Knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
It's been informed that zombies have entered the building. They're at the door. They're coming in.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. I'm your host as always, Corey, and alongside me is my good pal, Tony. What's going on, brother?
Not much, Corey. How you been, bro?
I've been good. Been living the dream.
That's have I.
The old American dream. I don't know.
American dream.
Anyways. So what are we doing tonight, man? We're gonna do another slasher film?
We're doing another slasher film, man. We're still kicking away at the summer slasher series like we have been. This is, I know I sound kind of burnt out, but I'm not. I love this series. I love doing slashers in general.
Mm-hmm.
So this one in particular is cool because we're continuing on our more modern theme, which we've been on. This is our last couple have been more modern films. Well, Scream, you could consider that pretty modern too.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, starting to get in that area where it's not so.
I mean, you got to think what Blair Witch came out after Scream, and Blair Witch has been out for like 22 years now.
Yeah, well, yeah, so, we're getting to the point, dude. You're right. Yeah. We're getting to that point where it's not so modern anymore. But yeah, I mean, we're continuing on the theme, and we're doing. I believe it came out in 2014, 2015. Charlie's Farm.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really interesting movie because it's an Australian slasher film that takes place in Australia, which is, I mean, it's pretty cool, man. It's a different setting than what your typical slasher fan would be familiar with. I mean, you have the Australian outback, the cool scenery, the lush green, the outback itself is just cool. I mean, I've always wanted to kind of travel and go to Australia. It's pretty gnarly, and there's a lot of crazy stuff to see out there. But it's a different setting, which is pretty cool. And I wrote down in my notes that it's pretty. Not too often that you see a straightforward Australian slasher movie. So this is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about, I believe the last film that we did was a Canadian film.
Yep.
You know, so I kind of wanted to get out of the norm. That's why I kind of suggested this because, you know, you think of slasher films, automatically you think of American, you know, horror, and it's a lot of times there's a lot of slashers out there that aren't from America that I would love to, you know. This one too, it's kind of one that I don't think is well known. Not so much outside of like the collector or the, what I guess you would say, like the horror nerd. But you know, pretty much this is almost like what I'm trying to get at is like the more mainstream audience doesn't really know about this film. I wouldn't think they would know about this film right offhand.
Not at all.
I mean, they might find it at like a, you know, like Second and Charles or something and pick it out just because of the case, but not actually know what this film's about. So,
yeah.
Which I didn't know what this film was until you brought it to life for me. But it was kind of cool because if you remember, we kind of have a funny story about this film because we actually met Bill Moseley, I think a year prior to this film, and he was telling us that he was going to be in an Australian slasher film, you know, with Kane Hodder. And I was like, I was game. I was hooked. I wanted to see that film. So then you finally brought it to light for me when you told me about it. And I was like, oh my God, that was that fucking movie that Bill Moseley told us about.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. It came. Yeah. Well, I mean, in a lot of instances, you know, when you hear about something that can be that in the process of being made, but not 100% fully filmed and wrapped, and you just don't know if it's going to see the light of day or not. And I mean, especially in the indie scene, you know, sometimes movies are started and they're never finished, and then sometimes they just finish, but you never see them. They never get properly viewed or put out there. You know, I think of Gutterballs 2 is a perfect example of that. You know, it's another film that's been shot and I don't think it's been edited fully. I know that there's a cut out there that's been seen before, but you know, not the mainstream audience, but the greater audience has not seen the full film yet. So, you know, it's always possible that a movie like this could be shelved and stuff like that. But I'm glad it you know, actually came about and we've actually got a chance to see it, and it's actually put out physically when you get a copy of it, which is how I watched it. I don't remember if there is a Blu-ray, but I know I had my DVD. For sure say that there's a Blu-ray or not. I kind of thought about that before I watched it. I'm like, is there a Blu-ray copy or not? I don't know. I just have my DVD, but
yeah.
It's it's definitely cool to see a movie that, especially having the horror pedigree that you have, Bill Moseley and Kane Hodder, you know, both cameo in this film is pretty cool. I mean, I know it's prior to that. I mean, they've been doing a lot of cameos and spot, you know, acting roles and stuff like that in indie horror, but you know, it's never lost on me that there's horror royalty out there that's still supporting the indie scene by being in these films, and it's just cool. It just goes to show how tight knit the genre really is, and I just love seeing it.
Mm-hmm. You know, I wonder. You know, we talk about the iconic actors and stuff that starred in this film. I wonder if Kane Hodder would have had a role in it had he not been battling Charlie, you know.
Yeah.
Just such a big ass dude. What is that guy? Nathan, I forget his name. Yeah. Is he used to be like a wrestler or something, didn't he? Or
Yeah. He was, and he also was in Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
Remember him in that. But his imposing figure is, I wrote down, I was like, this Charlie has to be one of the most physically imposing slasher villains of all time. The guy is massive. He's the size of a mountain.
Yeah.
He's huge and intimidating, and it's just genuinely. There's a scene when, and like I said, audience, we're going to throw out the spoiler. We're going to go pretty heavy on this one and talk about it. So if you haven't seen it, you know, just be forewarned, we're going to talk about it. But there's a scene where he's chasing a victim and it's in slow-mo, and you get a shot of his face, and he's just barreling he's got to be 6'7", 250 plus pounds. I mean, just barreling at this small petite girl, and it's just imposing and terrifying, because even the makeup, which I was thinking about it when we covered Lost After Dark last go around. I had a point to say, hey, one of my critiques was, or one of my little like drawbacks to that was, the killer didn't have a mask. I was kind of bummed out about that. Well, this is in this movie. I'm glad Charlie doesn't have a mask, because he is so frightening. The look, his eyes, his face, the way it looks like it's rotting, and his gnarly, scraggly shit that he's got going on with his beard and his hair. It's really, really fucking freaky, man, and I love it. I think it's perfect.
I even love the way his back looks. You know, just look like
twisted.
Yeah, he looks like he's got like straight up spinal bifida or something. Like,
yeah,
it's gnarly. And
there's continuation, because when you see the flashbacks of him as a child, his spine is still kind of like curved, and I'm glad that they kept with that, and then they showed that in his adult form. I was like, oh, that's pretty good continuity like that. Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I love the look of him altogether, and like to your point, like he is a big ass dude. Like the first time I seen him in a movie called Fearless, and that was with oh gosh, what's his name? Jet Li. When I was on a big kung fu kick, he stars in that movie with him as kind of a wrestler, an American. He portrays himself as an American wrestler, who's traveling the world looking for somebody to defeat him, and he puts a whipping on Jet Li in that movie. Yeah, like I mean, just beats the dog shit out of him. That's crazy.
That's hard to
So-
believe. But I mean,
I think Jet Li comes back. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, but I just remember he was like pounding the piss out of him, and it's like Jesus. So seeing him come into this movie, I really like the scene where he's confronted by. Well, he does it a couple times. He's like, hey, come on, like he's challenging people to beat him, to fight him. So I think that's pretty cool that he did that. Yeah.
it's intimidating as fuck because he's listed so much more than anybody else that comes in like into contact with him. He's so much more imposing than anybody's that anybody's in the movie. Like no one is coming even close to him. He's just so massive, and he's nothing but muscle, man. Have you seen pictures of the dude? He's literally shredded and just muscle, and it's intimidating for sure. I wouldn't want to come across this guy in any situation. That's damn. He could pick my ass up and hurdle me. Like no.
Yeah. So you mentioned the flashback scenes. What'd you think about that?
It was interesting. I like that they kind of set up his backstory and his lore with the flashback scenes. This is the cameo with Bill Moseley, who plays his dad in the movie, who just treats him like crap and is a complete psychopath. And of course, I wrote down in my notes, I'm like, Bill Moseley is a cannibal. Going back to the roots. Like I'm pretty sure he was comfortable in that role. But yeah, it's Bill Moseley just chewing up the scenery and just being a complete psychopath, and and the lady that plays his wife kind of almost overshadows him a little bit with her acting like a complete psycho, and just
it honestly felt like Rob Zombie, almost had a hand in both those characters.
It almost did, yeah.
I mean that's the way I got. I felt from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he took a little bit of Otis with him to Australia when they created this movie.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
I thought about that.
About Charlie and how Charlie looked. I thought you could take him and put him in the Hills Have Eyes remake with that family, and he would fit in because just his look would be perfect for that too. It almost gave me vibes to that, the Hills Have Eyes remake. Thinking about it, I'm like, you kind of can see that.
I could see that. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen in this movie where I'm like, it gives me a call back to another movie. You could tell the director, Chris Sun, is a huge Friday the 13th fan. A lot of little moments in here that kind of remind me of Friday the 13th. In particular with Kane Hodder, which was really cool because, of course, as most of us know, Kane Hodder played Jason. So, yeah, that was pretty neat. And I like how when Kane's looking for the character of Jason, he's like, Jason, is that you? And he's just kind of almost a little meta there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was pretty cool, too. Yeah, man, like I said, the flashback scenes were cool because I like that they're giving this character lore, and it's almost an urban legend, this house and this farm, and Charlie's family and what they did, because no one fully, when they're telling the story, no one fully has the story down pat. They're just giving like little instances of what they heard, and when it's passed on and the story's not always 100% accurate from different perspectives and different things that people hear. So you're getting little snippets of stuff, and you're like, well, did that really happen, or is that just the narrator telling us that, and they don't really know what happened? So,
well, here's the thing. Okay, if Charlie's farm, well, the location of where Charlie lives, the farm and everything, if people went out there and came up missing, clearly it would just be people missing. Sorry. But I don't think there's ever been any survivors, because then somebody would go back, then the townsfolk would go up there and hunt his ass down, Unless they went to go hunt him down and he was just underground, which we clearly saw.
So yeah, and there was bodies down there too, so they've been victims for a long time.
Tons, yeah, he's been killing for a long time down there.
Makes me think the people that broke into his house and wrote their name, like I survived Charlie's Farm, and they're writing their names and shit down. And I wonder, like, most of those people were the off-screen kills that were the bodies in his little body pit.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those were, but then you think like if all those people are going missing and stuff, then people are going to kind of pinpoint, what's going on here. They're going to the same place, so something's got to be going on. So, you got to, I guess, kind of suspend disbelief a little bit. You don't have the full story down, so I'm not really too concerned about it. I'm just concerned about the small little sample size of what we have in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Of these characters, our main characters that we follow. One of them is Jason, his girlfriend Natasha, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, played by Tara Reid, which was pretty weird to see Tara Reid in a role like this.
It was like all of a sudden she needed to act or something. I don't know. And she hadn't been acting for a while before this, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure she was in the Sharknado movie or so. I have never seen them, but I heard that
That's
she
right.
was in, or she
was
had
in
done
those. Yeah.
some appearances. I don't know. I haven't seen not one Sharknado, so I wouldn't know. But I just heard she was in in one.
I have all of them. I've only watched 30 minutes of the first one.
See, I don't know. Did you see her in the first one?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, then confirmed. She is in at least one. But yeah, so you have her, Jason, her boyfriend, and Jason's friend Mick, her friend Mel, and those are our four main characters that we follow their kind of journey. They're kind of like backpacking and wanting to find something fun to do for their little, I guess they're on vacation. I don't know. They're definitely, I don't think they're students. So they're young adults, on vacation or whatever, just enjoying some free time and wanting to do something to, kind of kill some time. So I guess it's kind of like implied a little bit through dialogue here and there, but it's not really relished upon that Jason is a big horror guy. He's a big horror fan, so he wants to see like haunted places and places with a really dark backstory, and Mick kind of tells him about this place called Charlie's Farm, and it automatically has him intrigued, and then he wants to go, but they don't want to tell the girls that because they're afraid that the girls are going to kind of, be like, no, completely against it, not want to do it, and that it's going to ruin their good time. So they kind of hide it from them as long as they can, anyway. But eventually they find out where they're going, and they're not too. Well, the one chick, Melon. She seems cool. I like her character because she's just down to do whatever. She doesn't give a fuck. She's just like, hey, I'm on vacation or whatever. I'm just wanting to have some fun. I don't care what we do, as long as it's fun. Smiling and having a good time. So yeah.
There's a cannibalistic haunted house over here. Yeah, let's go do that.
Right, yeah. But I just liked how just fun loving and just free she was. She was just like, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. She wasn't complaining a lot, which was pretty neat. But yeah, so they're out. They camp out and tell stories about Charlie and his family and or what they hear, mostly from Mick, who's I guess kind of the semi-unreliable narrator in this, since he probably doesn't know the whole story. He's just urban legends and whatnot. So
yeah,
we do get flashbacks to Charlie and not so much on how he was raised, but how his parents are, how crazy they are, demented, sick, and just vile people that they are. Who said that they killed people that worked for them on their farm and ate them, and they were the cannibal farmers, the trope kind of thing. But But yeah, they hold this girl hostage, and I guess what is his name in the Charlie's dad? I know
John.
Bill. John. Okay, John Wilson. I think it's
John Wilson.
Yeah. So he's got like a thing where
He's
he
a
like
Yankee from the States.
the Yankee from the States. Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot of little moments like that where because Tara Reid is the only American in the cast, and well,
Yeah.
aside from Bill Moseley and Kane Hodder, of course, but out of the main four, she's the only American, so they kind of poke fun at her for being a Yank. And it's just pretty funny because you don't typically see stuff like that. It's usually
No.
like if it is like a more American horror film, it's usually like some sort of like a British person or a German person or something like that. So to have the flip on its head where it's an American as the kind of the foreigner is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
See, but
Yeah.
it's the scenery is great in this movie, man. I love seeing the Australian outback. Of course, I wrote down, I don't think they can shoot a movie in Australia without showing one scene of a kangaroo. There's got to at least be one scene where a kangaroo is in there.
Mm-hmm. I think they showed one on the side of the road, like dead. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
like
definitely
that.
saw them hopping around. I'm like, yep, it's got to have that in Australian film. I'm pretty sure that's a mandate with all the Australian film industry that you have to at least show a scene with a kangaroo.
Just once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Storm Warning. Did they do that in Storm Warning?
You know, I don't recall, and I saw Storm Warning fairly recently, so shame on me for not remembering a scene with a kangaroo. But I'm sure it is, though. I'm sure it is.
You know what? That doesn't even that film right there doesn't even feel like an Australian film. It honestly feels like an American film.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah,
I love the
yeah.
movie.
Storm Warning's fun.
It's very tense, and there's some gnarly shit that happens in there. I can't wait to cover that. Maybe we should cover that soon. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what did you think of? What did you think of? Let's go with the kills in this movie, Thor. What do you think of the
Ooh.
dead and the gore?
Yeah, I mean, everything's good. There was a couple where I wanted a little bit more, or it was just like an instant blade or something. But I get it. We didn't have to dwell too long on the kills, on certain scenes. Of course, I think they dwelled on the main four. Hopefully, I didn't just ruin that for everyone. But yeah. So actually, how's Jason's death?
He gets his neck slit.
That's it.
It was a pretty cool effect, and it was really like, I mean, as much as you can't really feel bad for the characters because they're told many, many times throughout the movie, don't go to this farm. Do not go to the farm. And stupidly, they go to the farm anyway.
Well, they went to the farm because they were, had they not got directions, they wouldn't have went.
Yeah.
But the one guy gave them directions because Mick was just in that bar being a total dick to everyone. And then he was finally an asshole to what was that old man's name?
Blue.
I don't know. Blue?
Yeah.
But yeah, Blue was like telling them don't go out there because they were all like, what about Charlie's farm? And he kept telling them don't go out there. Just the best thing you can do is get in your car and go back to where you came from. And then I guess finally some of the townsfolk finally had enough of their shit and told them exactly where the farm is. So it's almost a wonder like some of the townsfolk knows what goes on out there.
Yeah, and then Kane Hodder's character even gave them even more detailed directions when they were kind of lost trying to find it.
Yeah.
But he told them many times, he's like, just turn around, don't even bother, don't constantly telling them to stop, don't go. So they brought this on themselves, or especially the main two guys did, because they were told many times not to go. The girls were kind of just along with the ride. They didn't even know about it halfway through, they didn't know. So you kind of but the guys, they definitely knew, and they didn't give a fuck. Were willing to chance it and go see what all the hoopla was about. Unfortunately, when you fuck with fuck with urban legends and lore of a sadistic family and this and that. I get what you got coming to you,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you try to take Charlie's bear from him and steal it.
Yeah, how dare you?
That's when you really fucking piss him off because he made it a point. I think he came back for that bear.
He
And I
did.
want that bear taken because she was like, "Where'd it go? I put it in my bag and it's not here no more. It disappeared."
Fucking bitch,
And
you
I
don't
guess
get it.
from what I understand, she thought maybe she was having a dream when she saw the huge, imposing figure of Charlie in the doorway when she was kind of like half asleep.
Mm-hmm.
The odd scene.
I mean, wouldn't that have woke you up? Like, you would have been like, oh fuck.
Any sane person that would have been like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like they would have been out.
Yeah.
It would
She
have been
kind of
like,
woke
"Hey,
up and she was like, okay, must be
yep," and
dreaming.
fall back to sleep. That's why that scene is so odd. It feels kind of almost unnecessary.
I wonder why he didn't just kill him off right then and there, like, or just start fucking with him right then and there, you know?
Charlie wants to maybe has like a little bit of a hunter in him where he wants his like his victims fully aware of what's going on before he kills them.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he just kind of left them alone. Like, took his bear back. I wonder if he would have just left them had they not kept poking and prodding around on his property.
Yeah, they were. It's like a territorial thing, I think, with Charlie. It's like the Jason thing. Like you fuck around in Camp Crystal Lake, and Jason's going to come for you. You fuck around Charlie's farm, Charlie's coming for you. Very territorial. Almost feels like it's well, kind of like Victor Crowley too. I mean, I kind of get that same vibe from him. His mindset, his drive to kill, is because his area, his sacred ground is fucked with, and he doesn't like that. He's going to take action, and you see that a lot in very, very traditional slasher villains, and you know it's played out here too, of course, and you definitely feel that from him because he definitely does not want his shit fucked with.
No.
He wants to be in peace and left alone. I'm assuming. So when somebody then threatens his territory, he's got to react and he's got to kill.
I like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean,
Because, yeah, I was wondering that. I was wondering why he didn't, like, go ahead and pick one off while they were there, you know? Instead, he kind of left them alone. They had several opportunities to just leave.
you know, many. A lot of opportunities to leave and never did.
Mm-hmm.
They
It's
wanted
not
to
like
keep,
he was going to stop him at the gate going, yeah, I'm going to fuck you up.
yeah.
You know, he just kind of left them.
Well, when that gate's locked in and they can't get through that gate, that should kind of tell you something. Like, hey, just turn around. If you got to leave your car all the way, because it seemed like they walked a long time to get to the farm. A lot of acreage out there. That should tell you something. Like, this probably ain't the best idea. Just turn back and go. And don't proceed.
Yeah.
You know. But it is what it is. We wouldn't have a movie if that didn't happen, so.
Yep. Yeah, going back to what you said there, the gore, I loved it. I dug it.
I kind of forgot about it this time around, but there's like a pretty, like you have 2 kills in the beginning of the movie when the movie starts. A couple backpackers, you know, you don't get their backstory or anything like that. They're just victims. They get killed. And then you have like a long stretch of movie where no one dies, and it's a lot of setup to the lore of Charlie and his family, and a lot of the movie. This movie has a very short running time too. It's not too long, so a lot of the movie is dedicated to setting up this character. Yeah. So you don't really get. I mean, you get the kill of Charlie's parents, but even one of them's kind of off screen, and then the Bill Moseley one's so quick, it's like you blink and you miss it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So really, it's just like a long stretch of movie where you don't have any kills or you don't have anything going on, and then at the end, last like 30 minutes or so, boom, kill. So it's not really played out evenly. It's very bottom heavy with the kills. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't remember that when I watched the movie last.
But
Been
even
watching-
still, there's still a shit ton of kills in this movie.
Really, there is. I mean, you have, so many at the end. It's crazy.
Hmm. Well, just on screen, I think, what is he at? 8?
You
You
get
got the 4 main, the 2 backpackers that come along with Blue.
they included those two so we can add to the body count. I'm really glad that they had 2 people pop in and just randomly show up. And
The Ginger Wolverine.
yeah, the Ginger Wolverine, which is me and you were talking a little pregame. That's the funniest line in the movie. I forgot all about that line, and when he said that, I fucking howled with laughter. It was so good.
I lost it. I was floored.
It was great. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that they included those 2 characters. So we'd have a pretty low body count, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Or lower. I wouldn't say low. I mean, but be as elevated. So say wouldn't feel that way because the 2 at the beginning were so quick that you almost forget about them toward the end. It's like, oh yeah, well, we can add those 2 to the body count as well. But there's a lot of off-screen kills because you have the Ginger Wolverine, a lot of bodies in that pit, so he's been killing a lot.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure there's another one. But the kills that we do get are the ones that are shown are pretty gnarly. To be honest with you, I love the effects. Even if the head looks fake, the effect is still cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with like a fake head effect. I always thought it adds to the movie's charm, whatever movie it is, or I don't care. It just adds to the charm for me.
Except
never-
our last film, I wasn't happy with that.
Yeah.
Lost After Dark. With the principal's head.
Oh yeah, that's
It was all
because it was,
CGI'd.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah. Well, I think there's a scene kind of similar that happens in this movie where, in the beginning, the 2 backpackers,
Mhm.
the boyfriend gets killed. I'm assuming that's the boyfriend. I'm assuming that's a couple. He gets killed and his head gets thrown back at her, and it looks pretty cool. Not
Yeah.
really CGI'd and pretty blatantly obvious. So that's pretty cool. I dig that. Well done. I mean, when you compare the 2 films, that's a lot better.
Mhm.
And the kill with her is pretty gnarly. I fully expected it to go one way, and it went a different way. So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool,
Mhm.
interesting." But yeah, the kills are pretty gnarly, man. What would you say is your favorite if you had to pick one?
It's really a toss up. I like both Mel and Mick's kill.
Yeah.
Mel, she gets her jaw ripped off.
Nasty too.
Dude, her tongue was like floating around. That was cool.
It seems like anytime you have a kill where the jaw was removed or something's going on, you always have to add the tongue effect. I don't know.
You have to.
Yeah, it's like it's necessity at that point. It's not right if you don't show the tongue flailing around.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times in movies, it's ridiculous.
And of course, Donkey's kill. You want to talk about that one?
Well, when his massive his fucking dong gets thrown or gets shoved into his mouth after it's
Yeah.
cut off, that was pretty fucking
I
cool.
love that scene. I love that scene.
Yeah,
My
the lead up.
thing is like, okay, so you're out, you're skinny dipping, you're having a good time, right? You
Mhm.
startled because there's a guy standing there with a ginormous ass fucking like machete looking thing.
His weapon's pretty gnarly too. I like
It is, yeah. But he's just like standing there holding it and staring at him. Okay, wouldn't you get out of the fucking water on the other side and fucking leave?
I tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do what Mick did. I wouldn't go square up to the motherfucker. That's for damn sure because
Ballsy.
you're asking for trouble. I know he's pissed off because he's about to hook up with this really, really sexy girl
Mhm.
that he has no business hooking up with. And some dude kind of fucks that up by kind of showing up. So I get he's pissed, There's no
Yeah.
way in hell I'm squaring up to this guy because he is. When I tell you he's massive, the dude is fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's the size of a mountain. So the last thing I'm going to be doing is getting up out of the pool and getting in his face. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
I love it though. The guy, he goes, he like, it's like he forgot that he was like naked for
Yeah.
a split second. They kind of just make eye contact, and then he looks down, and he's like, "Oh." They both kind of like smile and laugh at each other, and then he just fucking laughs it off real fast. Dude, that was like some crazy ass jujitsu move he does. He just fucking, it's gone. I didn't really need the close up of what occurred.
Yeah.
You know, just a spurt of blood and balls.
Yeah.
I didn't need that.
Close up was pretty fucking gnarly.
It's gross looking, dude.
Nothing
And then
left.
on top, and then worse of all, he then fucking grabs the dude's cock and fucking shoves it in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is funny because he mentions in the beginning of the movie when
about
they're talking.
sucking his own dick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty fucking clever. Okay. It came full circle.
Yeah. Little foreshadowing there.
A little foreshadowing there, yeah. Guys fucking packed like Tommy Lee, man. Fucking crazy.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Which we were talking about is like Mel's kind of seemed into him, and it's like this definitely not in this girl's league, man. This guy, she's fucking smoking hot, and he's just like this kind of chunky, overweight, but funny guy, and he's spitting some mad game at her, and she's kind of into it, and we're trying to figure out if she just got a whiff of, or she was told about his nickname and what it implies. So we're like, is that why she's kind of, or is it she? Because they seem like playfully friendly and this and that. It didn't seem like they were. Because he basically asked her, he's like, hey, after we're done with this whole thing, you want to go steady or whatever? And she was kind of poking fun of him out of the terrible way that he kind of went about doing that. So I don't know, man. You could take it either way on what her kind of intentions were, but she was kind of giving him the time of day, and I was a little surprised by that.
I think genuinely she sees what kind of a person he is.
Yeah.
And stuff. I mean, even though he's like this kind of obnoxious, I wouldn't say too obnoxious, but he is, kind of on the ruder side. But yeah, I could see him having a heart too.
Yeah.
And so maybe she sees past it and sees what he really is.
And I guess it goes to maybe the humor thing, because humor attracts. So, guy was funny.
It was fucking hilarious.
The lame Charles Manson joke. But other than that, he's pretty fucking funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That works.
Yeah. So what about you? What's your favorite kill?
I don't know, man. I was thinking about it. The hippie girl was pretty brutal, where he kind of put the tractor on her head. So it was just pressing down on her head, and you could hear it, and it was pretty, and it wasn't doing the job. So Charlie kind of got on the tractor and started jumping on it and stuff like that. And that's when her head kind of, I was like, oh, that's fucking, that's pretty good. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty gross.
I just love the lead up to it because he's pushing the tractor, and it's just pushing it. I mean, the dude's big enough to push a tractor. I mean, he's a big fucking dude.
Oh yeah.
And then add the weight of the tractor and his weight, and then him jumping, like all that pressure, and dude, it's sick kill.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. But the throat slit on the main character, Jason, was pretty hardcore too, because you almost see like the life leave his eyes, how they linger, the camera lingers on him, and how like his just life essence and stuff just disappears, it's gone, and it's really well shot, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that. The only downfall is to those whole scene, like all those scenes in the barn and stuff. It's very dark. Even down in the even down in like the little cave or whatever that he dug, the underground tunnels. All those were.
I saw a lot of corpses, but I couldn't really see much of anything. It wasn't
a lot of detail. It was just You could tell there was bodies there.
Which is a shame because what you do see with the practical effects in that is pretty good. I mean, solid
Mhm.
stuff, honestly. So I would love to have seen more of that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hiding like imperfections or something with that. I don't know. I don't know if it's a stylistic thing or just equipment thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the movie's pretty well shot. I mean,
It
I'm
really
watching
is. The
DVD.
cinematography is really great.
Yeah, I'm watching it on DVD and it looks really good.
Almost Blu-ray quality.
It's pretty clear. So
Yeah.
I do like that shot. Maybe the Melanie Kill's my favorite because I love the lead up to the shot where he's chasing her and it's in slow mo and you see like his face and he's like snarling and his face is so fucking eerie looking because he's like it's almost like his skin is corroding, but he's got like yellow eyes and he's got gnarly teeth and he's
hmm
scraggly. He just looks fucking terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'm an astute horror fan and I love horror villains and this and that. But if I seen that crazy motherfucker running at me, I might shit a brick. I'm not gonna lie. He's I don't know.
wouldn't approach him naked. Let's put it that way.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But just the way he picks her up, like he picks up people like they're just ragdoll.
Dude, I thought he was gonna like straight up body slam her.
I did too. I honestly thought he was gonna do a backbreaker or something, like a wrestling move.
Yeah, just like throw her against the knee.
Do the bane on her or something. That's what I thought when I first saw that. But no, he just fucking just body slams her to the ground and just rips. And it's a pull, and you hear it, and it's oh man.
Like, I like the fact that you can like see all the silicone just like stretching and pulling and ripping apart.
Yeah,
It's really cool effect, and it's really effective.
I like
Yeah,
that
you
the
can-
director Chris Sun actually takes his time with the kills that you do see. He doesn't rush them. He kind of takes his time with the hippie chick kill and her kill. It's a lead up and a build up to it. But then you have he will do like scenes where it's a quick kill and boom. But then he lingers on stuff too, and I appreciate that he does that.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. It's good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed like I said his cinematography, his faraway shots, the shots on the house is really cool. You could definitely tell he's got an eye for cinematography too because there's like shots of like a moth in a spider web getting spun and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just really good shots and they didn't need to be there but they were there and it kind of just shows like his skill. you know?
Right. Well, I'm familiar.
So-
I'm kind of familiar with the director from Facebook, and I know he's making other movies, but I really would love for him to do a sequel to this. I think how he led up the lore or how he built up the lore in this movie, where he spent a lot of time on the story and the backstory of Charlie.
Mhm.
I think that lends perfect to a sequel where Charlie's just ripping through people and he's, you have an elevated body count and you have no frills and no just straight up like just core kill, picking off people and I just think a sequel would. Man, I'll tell you what. I don't know if we want to get. Well, I'll hold off. It's too early to do that, but I would really love to see a sequel, just more of this character because he's gnarly, man.
Mhm. I was thinking about that today. That you could almost do a prequel too. I would love to see a film on his like childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Get a little more Bill Moseley and that crazy ass. What was it? Was her name Mary?
I don't know. I can't remember her name.
Get her name. Yeah, I think it started with an M.
Yeah. I will go with Mary. You sounded so convincing. You convinced me.
I don't know if it's Meredith or Mary.
It might be Meredith. That sounds.
I think it is a Meredith. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would love to see that, and I would love to see sequels because I could see this turning into like a modern day franchise. I could really see that happen.
They could.
Yeah. because I don't know what would beat Charlie.
I know. Yeah, it's funny when he gets shot and he just falls down. And
Feels like Michael Myers, doesn't it? Just
Yeah, yeah.
Michael Myers.
right, he just falls down. It's just like no, it's not over. Come on,
Mhm.
that big brutish motherfucker's not going down with one shot. I don't care.
This film lived by Randy's code.
Oh God, yeah.
Killer always comes back for one last scare.
Oh yes, absolutely. What do you think about Tara Reid's character? I wasn't too big on her character.
Wasn't a fan.
She's very complainy and very
Whiny
whiny.
and yeah.
And-
But I
yeah.
mean, you kind of have to have that because she's almost like the gut instinct of the group.
Right.
Kind of like, this doesn't feel right. We don't need to be here. We don't need to be doing this. So I mean, I get her character and why it was written in the way it was.
It's like a fish out of water scenario because she's the only American in there, and she's trying to get used to the customs and what's right and what's wrong, and she feels kind of like out of place and stuff. I get it. Yeah, it just I don't know, man. They seem to like over. I mean, I could see a couple of instances where she's kind of like, oh no, I don't know about this, or I'm not doing that, or this is that. But it seemed like her character, that's all her character was built up to be, was the person that said, no, I'm not doing this, or no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Just constantly back and forth, back and forth. And so I thought it was kind of interesting. The end, what happens, which I didn't see coming. I didn't know they were going to go that route and do that. So,
well, here's the thing. Okay, Charlie caught her, and this is what's really confusing. He kept her alive. Why?
Yeah, that's the one thing I looked. I can't remember. I was getting something or doing something, and I looked down for a minute, and then all of a sudden she was in his lair, and I'm like, well, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Well, why is she in the lair? What's going on? What happened? Did he put her there? I don't understand. That kind of like confused me.
Yeah.
Quite sure. So to your point, I had no idea why she was there.
Yeah.
Or why she was still alive.
She shouldn't have been there. Like, I don't know why. I mean, unless he was going to mate with her,
I mean, it would have been badass if there would have been I'm a big, in slashers, I'm a traditional guy, so I like my final chase. I wanted to see a final chase. Didn't really see that. I mean,
you kind of got it.
I mean, it was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't too embellished, let's just say that. It was kind of, because she wasn't truly by herself a lot of it. Like, Blue came to kind of help out, and then he gets fucking axed, and you can definitely tell Charlie wanted that one because that's the kind of spearhead of the group that kind of killed off his family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that was one he was ready for and happy to do. But yeah, you don't get a traditional final chase in this, and I kind of miss that.
Mm-hmm.
I like those. I'm a traditional slasher guy. I like having, but that's another thing too. I like it when some people take chances and take traditions and kind of flip them on their head and kind of keep you like guessing, and they make you think like, oh, you expect it to go one way and then it goes completely opposite way. So I guess when they really do it and they do it well, I dig it. I like that. But if you kind of like just going through autopilot and just doing what you think, people want to see and people are going to gravitate toward, I'm just kind of like, take chances. Sometimes it's good to take chances, and sometimes it's good to just play by the book. So it all depends. There's so many slasher films, especially at this time period, that were getting pumped out, that I guess you had to take chances to kind of stand out from the pack, so to speak. So
yeah, I agree with that. This film definitely. I mean, and it stood out. It was I don't know. I dug it. Ultimately it was pretty cliche, but again, I was still confused by the whole keeping her alive thing.
Yeah, it was.
That was the issue. But with that being said, I wonder if it was, well, I don't know. Would he have picked up on her being American? No, because his dad was technically American.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many scenarios of why he kept her alive. It just doesn't make sense to me. I guess because ultimately, you're told this is a formal slasher film, so there's going to be a survivor. Okay, she's the survivor girl, because all of a sudden, oh no, she's dead. Wait a minute, no, she's not. She's in this tunnel in a dog crate that can be kicked open by a 60-pound girl.
I get the Friday the 13th remake vibes from that whole scenario.
Mm,
Jason kept that girl in his underground lair.
yeah.
Same fucking thing, same difference. I mean, but I guess that one
I was waiting on John to pop up and go, all of a sudden, here's Dr. Satan.
I mean, yeah, dude, you have characters that seem like they're out of the Rob Zombie flick. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely far-fetched at all, dude.
No. Why not?
Yeah, but in Friday the 13th, it kind of made sense. In this one, it just never really explains. So you just don't know. I guess it's left up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe he was going to mate with her or something. I mean, I know it's gross, but sorry, my dog jingled everywhere.
You're good, man. It's I don't know, it's the head scratcher, but fill in the blanks, or maybe I'm just making an excuse for a misstep. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't really dwell on it too much, but it's odd. Just like that scene where the Mel chick wakes up and she sees him and doesn't really do anything. It's just odd. It's an odd scene.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Missed opportunities in this film.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say done.
What did you think about that final scene, though?
Like the end?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I mean, are we already there? I guess we're there.
Yeah, I guess we are there. I wrote that down. I'm like, that's pretty ballsy, and I appreciate it. I love that they end it so abruptly. I love that. I thought that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know, for some reason it just kind of clicked with me. I'm like, that is ballsy, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. It broke the traditional. What would you say? The traditional trope of a slasher film.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
I don't know why it just worked. I forgot too when I watched it and it just ended abruptly. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, I forgot about the scene too, and I was like, okay, so Tara Reid's our survivor girl. Could have called that early on in the film.
Yeah.
And then as we're watching the film and everything, and it gets to the end, it's like, wait a minute, he's gonna kill her. Why is she locked away in a cage? And then she makes her getaway. And here's another thing, like, why did she take that necklace?
True, yeah, I kind of wondered that too. I was thinking, was she going to try to do? Because I'm guessing that was his mother's corpse. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't think so, but because I don't recall her wearing necklaces.
I don't recall why they would linger on that corpse so much if it wasn't kind of an important thing. I was kind of thinking that they were going to go like a Jenny thing from Friday 2, where she kind of does like a psychological thing with Charlie and kind of pretend to be his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she would do that because she's not Australian, and she probably couldn't do an Australian. I mean, she could. I don't know. I have no clue. But I thought they were kind of going I thought they were going in that direction.
That's what I was thinking.
Turns out that's not the direction they went in. But yeah, why did she take the necklace? I don't know. It's weird. There's just weird, like a couple weird things.
Odd stuff that happened. I would love to talk to the director or the screenplay writer and just pick their brain a little bit. Like, why did you do this? Like, what was the purpose of this?
Right.
Because I mean, it was confusing. No, but ultimately, even like, so she shoots Charlie. Charlie falls. She tries to reload it to do like a double shot, And instead, she can't get the gun to work. So at this point, take the gun, turn it around, and beat his fucking melon in. Like, that's what you do. No, what does she do? She's like, I'm going to kick him on a boot. Okay, he's dead. Let me throw the gun down and walk away.
Yeah, just throw the gun down. I'm like, no, don't do that. But, you know what's going to be.
But regardless, even if she still had the gun, she would have got impaled by something else. That big-ass knife or something.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But, yeah, so she gets impaled by the gun.
But the fact that she does get impaled, and then this, I can't remember if it was the scope, but something got caught on her guts. The guts got pulled out. I'm like, that's just an extra level of brutal.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, okay, like people live from impalement. I think she'll be okay. And then he like reaches down and just pulls the gun through her, and I was like, well, she's not coming back from that.
No, not at all.
There's no chance.
It's funny, man. I love the way it just abruptly ends after that.
I think what is it? Is it like a shot of the sun coming up and then that's it?
I mean, just it ends. He picks her up on his shoulders and
That's
walks.
what it is. Yeah.
I'm like, bro, fuck yeah, I'm about it, man. It's so abrupt. I dig it.
Yeah.
No idea why. It just works for the movie. I just feel it.
Yeah. I dug the fact that there was no survivor.
Yeah.
It just adds to the brutality of this guy.
Absolutely, man. There's no happy ending. Everybody gets got. So
yeah,
you know, it's fine. Yeah, I dig that. I like the ending.
It's good stuff. So I'm dying to know what you rated this thing.
Well, like I said, it's a fun movie, man. It's kind of cliche, but I mean, it's a slasher film. You can't really knock anything at a slasher for being cliche because I mean, that's what the subgenre is, man. And sometimes people take chances, sometimes people play by the numbers, and you get sometimes standouts, and sometimes this is. I mean, I'm not going to say this is a home run, phenomenal film. I enjoy the hell out of it, but like I said, there's some odd things that I wish I could talk to the director and kind of bring to light, like why this decision was made, or why, just like we were talking about. I'm just curious. I'm more curious than anything. I'm not disappointed. I'm just like would like to know more. And that just kind of involves my curiosity and my level of engagement with the movie in general. I just want to know more on why this decision was made or that decision was made. But like I said, the stretch of the lull I kind of see why he did that and why it would have been hard to kind of streamline some kills in between. But there's so long of a stretch of movie where there's no one getting killed. Just together with the characters are not like, it's not a negative thing on the characters. The characters are fine. Especially the Mick character. He was funny. He kept the group engaged and kept most of the humor in the movie is him. So it kind of, you never felt it, but it's like, it would have been interesting to kind of fill those voids in and kind of keep it more balanced. It was very, very it was very uneven when it came to the kills. But overall, man, I enjoy this movie. I had fun with it. I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoy it.
Okay.
It's fun. It's not perfect by any means, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't really dig the Tara Reid character. I kind of wish that the Mel character was kind of set up to be her character, but it is what it is. I mean, it happened, and the decision was made. So, mainly just because I didn't gel with her character very much. And the acting's not bad. It's cool here, and sometimes I wish I kind of put on the subtitles so I knew more about, because with Australian accents, it's kind of hard to hear every little thing. So it's been interesting to watch the movie with more subtitles to hear everything that was said. But yeah, the acting it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah,
felt fine. So yeah, I think the movie's very adequate as a slasher film. the kills that you do see that they linger on are really brutal. There's a couple of off-screen kills, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is for budgetary reasons. I get it. This is an indie film. At the end of the day, it's a lower, but I don't know if it's an indie film, but it is a lower budget film. So I get that, but yeah,
costed $130,000.
Yeah, I think three is adequate. I think it's fine for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not by any means a bad score, so because I had fun with it.
Yeah. This was kind of I wouldn't say this was a first time watch, clearly, because I've watched it before, but it felt like a first time watch just because I hadn't watched it in so long. I think when it comes down to it, I think there was a lot of decisions made in the writing department that I didn't understand. And maybe they were supposed to be edited out and they weren't, and I didn't care for it. I don't know what the deal is there, but I feel like the necklace situation, stuff like that. And there's a lot of missed opportunity, where he could have at least snagged one of the people off the group, when he snagged his teddy bear instead. Stuff like that. So ultimately, I dig this film. I didn't like the darkness of the film. There's a lot of scenes, a lot of shots where it's just dark, almost to the point where I couldn't hardly see, what I was watching. But the whole time, like, she's crawling around in like laying with the bodies down there in that tunnel, you couldn't even hardly see her. I couldn't make out what she was laying with. Could have been a roll of carpet, could have been a body, who knows?
Yeah.
But by the judge of her gagging and stuff like that, it was clearly bodies. I don't know. I teetered with do I give it a 4? Do I give it a 3? And I think some of the pros for me outweighs the cons of this film. Yes, it does feel like a longer film just because there's, like you said, there's such a time lapse.
Yeah,
where there's just nothing happening. They're just joyriding and mingling again, amongst each other. And a lot of the film is like that. And it starts off strong with a strong opener.
Yeah,
there's a long, boring process in between, and then the finish, the climax of the film is just kill after kill, and I don't mind that.
Right.
If it's done well, but in this point, like, I could see where somebody would lose engagement with the film, So that's my only biggest problem: the darkness, the engagement, and everything else. So I ended up giving it a 3.5.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was a very hard decision to make because I was going to give it a 3, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, and I started thinking about things. And the one thing that I really loved was the backstory and how you got to see that. A lot of films, they tell you backstory just through dialogue, and that's not engaging at all. So to actually see how crazy his family was and everything, and his parents was, and then to see what happened to his parents, it's really, really cool way to bring forth the past story to the audience. So I dug it.
Well, I really wonder this. For me, I wonder because given his age and how young he was when his parents were killed, I wonder how he was able to survive on his own for so long. Being that Bill Moseley, his father, says in dialogue that we care or we do everything for this kid. We give him 3 square meals a day, this and that. So he's not able to cook or hunt, as far as I know, for himself. So does he just learn that as he goes along the way? I mean, he have to, right, in order to survive in the outback. I mean, the Australian outback is brutal. So for, I don't know how old he is, maybe 11, 12.
Somewhere around in there, yeah.
that point when his parents get killed, how an 11 and 12-year-old without anybody else surviving out there in the Australian outback with all the fucking creatures and animals that are trying to kill you. It's so crazy to me. But you could tell that he survived all this time by just lifting and fucking doing cardio and all kinds of shit because the dude's huge and he definitely hit a growth spurt. That's for damn sure. I don't know what he was drinking or eating out there in the outback, but it must have been pumped with some hormones or something because that dude got fucking massive. So
Well, it was a pig farm.
yeah.
So I wonder, like he probably ate the pigs. There's no pigs there.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. So that would be a cool little idea for a prequel, like the time when his parents get killed to when he's at the age he is now, what he does in between that point, how he's able to survive. Is he killing along the way? I mean, obviously he is. His body's all over that fucking underground layer. So that would be a great time to do that movie. Like it's set in that time.
Ripped. He got ripped digging that tunnel.
Right. Yeah, he must have, man. That's a lot of digging. I mean, seriously, that is quite a workout. So, but yeah, I just thought about that. That would be a good time period that a prequel or a sequel. I don't care. We get another movie up the ante with the kills, a little bit more gore, bloody violence, and stuff like that. I mean, that'd be pretty sick. Like to see that.
I'd love to see it.
I mean, yeah, just throwing it out there. I mean, I know I've seen the director before on Facebook. He's doing stuff. He's doing other movies and stuff like that. So he's in the business still. He's not shooting a one and done horror flick and then just disappear and riding off into the sunset. No, he's actually doing more stuff. So it's cool that he's still in it for the passion that he has for the filmmaking process and the genre itself. So I mean, he's sticking with horror. He's doing horror. So that's cool to see.
Definitely.
Especially repping Australia, which has a fantastic cinema history. So the fact that he's doing it for Australia is pretty neat, pretty cool. Putting it on the map still, as far as
you don't see a whole lot of horror films come out of Australia.
Yeah, more modern stuff anyway. I mean, it's pretty fascinating. I don't know how the process is and how they get the money or the funding and I don't know different countries and stuff like Canada when they do the tax shelter thing and I wonder if they kind of have like maybe a similar kind of way of movie making in Australia. I don't know. I'm curious about that. I'm maybe looking at that. But yeah, the fact that he's still doing it though, kudos to him, man. Hopefully we see more Charlie in the future. As a sequel or a prequel would be welcome.
Definitely.
I think Hunter fans would be psyched about that.
Well, this film's almost 10 years old. Well, it's 8 years old now.
Yeah, it's
we need something.
Getting there. I mean, I know he's made. I think he's made a couple films in the process of that 8 years, but
yeah,
hopefully he returns back to what started it. I think Charlie's Farm was his first feature, pretty sure. So,
if you're friends with him on Facebook, maybe you can contact him and find out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt.
Him. That'd be cool.
I haven't been on Facebook much. I'm so bad about it. Getting on there, I just man, it's been bad. But like I said, I'm trying to get back on it just to kind of. Me and you talked about like getting back with directors in the indie scene and seeing what they're up to and this and that. So I'm thinking about using that platform because Facebook, when you use it for a platform, something that's beneficial or helpful in like even gathering information or sharing stuff that's positive and a good outlook and this and that, then it can be used as a great platform for interactions and stuff like that. But people use it for so much negative shit that it outweighs all the good shit that they can be used for. So problem with it. But yeah, like I said, I'm on it a little bit more now lately, a little bit more because I'm really interested in finding these directors and maybe seeing what's going on with them. So reaching out to people that know them, and maybe even getting a chance to talk to them personally, that would be pretty sick. But yeah, like I said, man, that's the beauty of the scene, the indie scene, the horror scene, that you easily could reach out to somebody and find out more information, and it's not so closed off and buried away like these guys' careers and themselves. Even though a lot of them just disappear. It's crazy.
Mhm.
They fucking take off. I don't know. I'm not on Instagram or Twitter or any of that, so I don't know if they're on those platforms. Maybe they are. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
they just disappeared off the face of the earth. But who knows, man? Maybe that's why. I don't know. It's interesting to kind of delve into that and find out for sure. That's what I'm gonna try to make it a point to do that and do some research and figure out what's going on with these guys. See if they still have the passion for it, or did. I mean, you never know, man. Shooting a movie is tough. Maybe they wanted to do it and they had their career sets on it, and then shooting one kind of turned them off from the whole process of it, and they just never want to do it again. I mean, wow, I kind of want to reach out and see.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll jump back into it.
Maybe.
Buddy Cooper did, you know.
Fingers crossed on that. Yeah, that's a great example.
Waiting for Mutilator 2 to come out now.
I mean, he did Mutilator, and then for what? God, when did Mutilator come out? 84?
Yeah, 84, 85, something like that.
So, yeah, man, like all those years, and then just coming out with a sequel now, and I don't think he's ever really done anything other than that. So that's cool.
I think the convention was a big awakening.
Maybe it was. I know we talked to Buddy Cooper a lot about how much fun we've had with that movie and how much we enjoyed that Arrow put out a Blu-ray, and we were able to get that signed and met him and Big Ed, met Big Ed, and then the special effects guy. That was really fun, man. Good memories.
I think we probably sat there for like an hour and a half talking to Buddy. Yeah, we stood there for a long time.
Well, you got to think too. We were in the process of making our own movie at that point, so we were kind of like picking his brain about what it's like directing, what decisions you got to make, what gear you use, all that kind of shit. We were picking his brain about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it was cool seeing all the stills and the shots from. I mean, the actual film was sitting right there in front of us.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was kind of eye opening. Have the
neat
stuff right there.
Yeah,
very cool. Very cool. It's something you never see anymore. Never see that kind of shit.
Nope.
The fact that we were able to see it, it's like we almost have like a little glimpse into the past.
How big those fucking reels were.
Huge, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tony, you ready to land it?
I think so, man. I think so.
Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Well, we appreciate you enjoying another episode with us, and we hope you like it. We hope we didn't spoil anything for you. I didn't do any research to see if it was on Tubi or anything like that, so hopefully you were able to find it elsewhere. Hopefully it didn't cost too much to rent or anything. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to look and see. But yeah, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and let your friends know and family know. If anyone around you likes horror, send them our way. And then also come and join us on our Facebook group where we like to share funny memes and post cool stuff and even news-related horror and stuff like that. And feel free to post your own stuff in there too. We'll definitely let it happen. And just as long as like Tony and I say, just don't promote any businesses or anything like that in the group, and we just keep it strictly horror related.
Yeah.
We usually allow pretty good stuff to go through there. But yeah, with that, Tony, you got anything?
I do not, man. That was a fun episode. It was great recording. Like I said, I'm never gonna not thank you guys, the listeners, and for all your continued support. You guys are fucking amazing. We love you. Thank you so much for keeping us going, and giving us a drive to do more, to record more. It's so much fun just having people, in the group, and then even people on the comments and stuff like that saying, hey, this is great, this is that, we enjoy it. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you guys, and I'll never not say that enough. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. Well, with that, later.
Later, guys.